Hey guys, in this mini lecture we are going to explore gas evolving reactions. As the name implies, a gas evolving reaction is a type of chemical reaction that results in the formation of a gas phase product. And if this reaction is carried out in solution, what that ends up showing up as is little bubbles, right? We see little bubbles coming out of solution. So considering the example of putting hydrochloric acid, HCl, on limestone, calcium carbonate here. If you put it, have a little medicine dropper, put some HCl on that limestone, what you end up seeing is little tiny bubbles, right, forming. And these little bubbles, it turns out, is CO2 gas. So the reaction of an aqueous hydrogen chloride, hydrochloric acid solution with that calcium carbonate gives rise to a CO2 gas phase product, and then essentially a salt solution. Calcium chloride dissolved in water. So once again here, the hallmark of that gas evolving reaction is the fact that we see all those little bubbles, right? All those little CO2 bubbles, forming on the surface of that limestone. Okay. Now, not all gas evolving reactions form the gas as the immediate product of an initial reaction. Sometimes gas evolving reactions form some sort of intermediate product that then afterward decomposes, which means breaks down into simpler substances that then form a gas. Right? So for example, if you react hydrochloric acid with sodium bicarbonate, you end up forming this unstable intermediate, right here. And this unstable intermediate later decomposes to form CO2 and water, right? So this is an example of a gas phase reaction where an intermediate decomposes to actually form that gas phase product. Which brings us to an important definition. A decomposition reaction is a type of reaction in which you have one reactant that breaks down, decomposes into two or more simpler products. So the general form would be, some reactant AB breaking apart to form separate substances A and B. So if I go back here and take this intermediate product that we have formed in the reaction above, the decomposition reaction in our HCl sodium bicarbonate example is this. We have H2CO3 breaking apart into two simpler compounds, and of course one of them turns out to be a gas. So the method of identifying a gas evolving reaction is fairly straightforward. Basically, you determine the physical state of all compounds present in that chemical reaction and take into account subsequent reactions that may take place involving some unstable intermediate. And then the given reaction will be classified as gas evolving if you see a gaseous compound produced either as a direct product or as the result of some decomposition step. So the handful of examples here, HCl with potassium sulfide here, we find H2S gas being released, CO2 gas being released in this case, SO2 gas, NH3 gas. Every one of these reactions, because we see that gas phase product on the product side, we will conclude that they are in fact gas evolving reactions.